Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll hear about an effort to improve the state's alarmingly low graduation rates, and we'll hear about a recent leadership forum aimed at improving Arizona's future. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A long-running lawsuit over health services to the seriously mentally ill in Maricopa County is over. A judge today officially dismissed the 33-year-old Arnold V. Sarn class action case. This after the court determined that the state, working through Mercy Maricopa Integrated Care, was making a best effort to deliver behavioral health services by way of a new community-based approach to health care. Medicaid expansion will cover the cost of the added services, and those services are expected to expand to the rest of the state later this year. American Graduate Day is set for this Saturday. It's a national campaign to help more high school students graduate. PBS stations around the country will dedicate hours of programming to showcase efforts to keep students on the path to graduation. 8 Arizona PBS is joining that movement, and tonight we kick off a new American Graduate series here on Arizona Horizon with a look at Arizona's graduation rates, which leave a lot to be desired. We'll hear more about that in a moment. But first, a success story. Producer Christina Estes introduces us to a program that's changing lives.
We call them students, I call them my babies.
And like most moms, Kiaki Williams likes to brag.
She's doing amazing.
She is Margarita Sanchez.
Jobs for Arizona's graduates, this is Margarita.
She's one of Kiaki's success stories through Aspire. It's a program designed to help young people from low-income families finish school and find jobs.
A lot of times students come to us and I just want to get a job, and they're not focused on school at all. And then getting them to understand how important education is and what kinds of jobs they're going to get without it. And getting them to focus more on school than on the work aspect and how the work part will come once they have the education. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Before Aspire, I wasn't really into high school at all. I was never going. I was always staying home. I wasn't the kid that would ditch school to do bad things. I always just stayed home and did nothing, and I was never interested at all. I had a dream, but I felt that I couldn't achieve it.
Remember, I got to find out about you taking that course.
With Kiaki's help and her own determination, Margarita became the first person in her family to walk on stage and accept a high school diploma.
It was really nerve-wracking, and I cried a lot during the ceremony. And it was a big deal.
My personality is very maternal, very wanting to take care of people. And I get to see my work, and that's why I love what I do so much. I get to see my babies grow up and see them graduate and see them get jobs.
She's not done watching Margarita.
Is that a private school, or what is that?
While she currently works 2 part-time jobs, there's another one in Margarita's future. She plans to attend college to become a veterinarian.
And thanks to federal grants, the Aspire program is offered at no cost to young people who qualify, and you can learn more at aspireaz.org. Well, here now to talk about Arizona's graduation rates is Dr. Joseph O'Reilly, the Student Achievement Director for Mesa Public Schools, and Rebecca Gao, Director of Stand for Children Arizona, a group working to improve state education. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Doctor, we'll start with you. Who's graduating, who's not, and why?
Well, the federal government came out with some numbers recently that showed that Arizona had about a 76% graduation rate. It's a little higher for whites and Asians. It's lower for Native Americans and Hispanics and African Americans.
Is this the one that ranked Arizona graduation rate at 43rd in the country?
No, this is a more recent one, I think, that ranked as 35th.
35th.
And what they do is they track the 9th graders from 9th grade through 12th grade and to see how many are still there at the end of 12th grade, taking into account transfers in and out.
As far as what you see out there, again, who's graduating and who's not?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the data and statistics show that the Hispanic community is really struggling. And in Arizona, this is really important because it's a growing and growing proportion of our student population. And so I think that's a really important thing that we need to start to understand is these kids are having a harder time, and we need to find ways to help them.
How do we address that? What are some of those ways?
Well, the Arizona Ready Council just came out with a report, a graduation rate task force report that spent a lot of time on this. And we see a lot of opportunity in Arizona around non-traditional pathways that take students earlier in their educational career and start to teach them about college and career readiness, particularly that career focus. So they're starting to see the relevance by the time they are exiting high school. They understand why it's important to actually graduate. Our economy really depends on it. More and more of our jobs require post-secondary degrees, and our kids just aren't getting them.
And that's engaging the students. That's what we saw in the video just before with Margarita. She got engaged.
Exactly.
And when students get disengaged, that's when they're at risk of dropping out and not graduating.
That disengagement, is that a reflection more on schools, more on families? What percentage of both?
I think it's a combination, because you have students who are leaving because of family problems. They may have to do child care. There may be health care. It could be that they're just not getting engaged by the school. Dropping out has a lot of different causes, that some need to be addressed by the schools, but some need to be addressed by other aspects of society.
You're talking family outreach programs, these sorts of things?
Those sorts of things, and maybe child care is an issue. A lot of other issues.
Please.
There was a report put out by the Gates Foundation called The Silent Epidemic, and it found high school dropouts and asked them, if you knew then what you knew now, what would you do differently, or what advice would you have to your past self, kind of things. And they overwhelmingly said, if I knew then what I knew now about the workplace and about life, I would have done more. But they also interestingly said, if adults had held me to the higher expectations and really encouraged me to do it, I would have done it. So that expectation is really important.
It's almost counterintuitive, because some would think that, well, the higher expectations, the higher goals and standards, more dropouts, more kids saying, forget this, I'm out of here.
Well, they're still just young people, and child psychology still applies. So when you give someone a challenge, a human being wants to meet that challenge. Innately, we want to meet those challenges.
So do you agree that higher standards and such would be better, as opposed to kind of going along to getting along?
I think higher standards and different ways of engaging the students to get to those standards. In some cases, it may be a career focus. In some cases, it may be a high academic, going for a very high college engineering type of approach. But yeah, the high standards is where the state's going. And we have to bring the students along so that they can meet those standards.
Yeah, I hear a lot about career focus, and yet when I was going to school, it was mostly get an education, learn to read, write, and think, and everything will fall in. You find out what you want to do later on. Is that an old idea?
It's somewhat an old idea. What we try to do is not focus on graduation, but what are you going to do after graduation with our students? So for the 8th graders, for example, we give them a test with NAU Gear Up, and we find out how ready you are for college. Are you on the path to be ready for college? And we ask them what their interests are, what their career interests are, what are their educational aspirations. And of over 5,000 8th graders, 75% of them say, I want to go to college or I want to go to grad school. About a third say grad school. About a quarter say, I don't know. And we had last year 13 say, I plan on dropping out. So they don't intend to drop out in 8th grade,
Yes.
but yet only 3/4 of them will graduate 4 years later.
How do you keep the non-college bound kid in high school?
I think a career focus, and I know we're used to thinking about technical education, and you hear the terms voc ed and you think of like sort of, some jobs that we don't often think of ourselves aspiring to. But the modern workforce is very, very different than when we all went to school. And that career and technical education is really important, and you can get 6-figure jobs with just an associate degrees quite easily, and kids don't know this. So we have a lot of information that we can be sharing with students about options if they just if they just graduate, first of all. And there are a lot of 2x2 programs where within high school you can get your associate's degree. There are a lot of wonderful opportunities in Arizona for kids. Mesa has a lot of them. Many schools and charters do. Kids just don't know about them.
The career and technical focus, again, kind of a sideways question to what I asked you. Is there a threat of being so focused and being so narrow in that particular scope that you lose the well-rounded education?
There could be, and that's a very good point, that when those of us who advocate for this idea of helping kids think more about the longer term and what their high school course selection should be and how they stay engaged in the content, there is so much technical content that has academic implications. For example, one of my favorite examples is an Automotive 2 course in the Marana District, which is an Algebra 2 credit as well. It is so chock full of that kind of information that the students can get academic credit with this very relevant content.
And it's interesting, because I mean, as a kid, I learned about math because of baseball. I would look at baseball statistics and I would learn averages and these things through that. You don't have to become a math expert or a baseball statistician, but you got to find a way to engage in something. They don't have to become a mechanic later in life, but if you get that automotive class going and algebra involved, it makes a difference.
Right. It makes a big difference, yeah. And our completers, those who are in, seem to get more engaged, and I haven't looked at, they graduate at higher rates. I don't have the exact rate in front of me, but yeah.
As far as new ideas as opposed to old ideas, are you looking at other states? Are there things other folks are doing that Arizona should or could be doing?
One thing in the research area is a number of districts and a number of states have looked at what are some predictors. Kids don't wake up one day and say, I'm done, I'm not going to school anymore. Kids disengage from school in very specific ways in terms of their grades. Their grades go down. They don't get enough credits. Their attendance, their poor attendance, and also their behavior. And Montgomery County Schools in Maryland has actually gone down and can predict first graders. Are they likely to drop out? Because of some of those predictors. Basically, attendance is the big one at first grade. But they can find some things that if you intervene here, it's cheaper to intervene and keep the student in school than it is to try and recover them after they leave.
And you mentioned costs as far as education funding. Is that the elephant in the room here? Is that always a factor, or how do you see it?
I think that there are areas where targeted resources could make a big difference, and we have some amazing districts that have been very creative in how they've found ways to do some of these innovative career and tech ed programs. But you know, the data that Joe's talking about, one of the key ways to get a kid re-engaged when you see the data, the attendance data, the rule of thumb is 10%. And this is important for parents to know, that the rule of thumb is if your student is missing 10% of their academic time, whether you're looking at a day, a week, or a semester, they're at risk at that point. So adult contact at the school is a way to get the kid re-engaged, and that's a low cost, it's high time, but it's a low cost way to reconnect with a student.
Very quickly, does funding for education in Arizona need to increase for some of these numbers to get better?
For some of the follow-up, we've had to cut back our non-teaching staff, and so following up a student is not as high a priority as students that are in front of you. You have 3,000 students in your school. So we don't have people specifically tracking down these students. We try, but most of our graduates stop coming, they stop returning phone calls, and they're gone. And so we don't have a specific targeted, where did those kids go, what happened to those kids?
All right. Well, good discussion. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Beside Highway 191 near Clifton is a memorial to 1880s Arizona law and order. Then, as now, the Clifton Cliff Jail is a two-room hole, blasted from solid rock and fitted with iron bars paid for by the owners of Clifton's first copper mine. Local tradition says the jail's first unwilling guest was the local stonemason hired to build it. When he finished the jail, the mason decided to celebrate at Clifton's Hovey Dance Hall, where he downed snakehead whiskey and shot up the place. The dance hall belonged to the deputy sheriff, who rewarded his rowdy patron with a compulsory stay in his own creation. In 1906, a flash flood filled the ground-level Bastille with water and mud, forcing the rescue of the prisoners by rope and the jail's closure. Today, it's dry, and visitors are welcome to take an eerie step down and back into Arizona history.
Tonight's edition of Arizona's Future looks at the recently held Arizona Leadership Forum. The event was designed to bring together leaders from the state's corporate, philanthropic, and nonprofit sectors to learn how to achieve greater success in their own organizations, their communities, and the state. Laddie Coor, Chairman and CEO of the Center for the Future of Arizona, and Darcy Renfro, Director of the Arizona We Want Institute, are here to discuss the forum. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And Laddie, the Arizona Leadership Forum, what are we talking about here?
It's an organization pulled together by National Bank of Arizona, Freeport McMoran, and the Phoenix Philanthropy Group. 3 years ago, they had their first major leadership forum, and every year it's built in strength and size. Last year they had Jim Collins here as a feature that really gave everyone that attended it an assignment. This year, almost 1,000 people, leadership from the corporate and from the nonprofit sector, focused, we are delighted to say, on the Arizona we want and all of the issues there.
And what was the message that the attendees got? What was the goal here?
I think the goal was really to highlight some of the success stories in Arizona around the goals of the Arizona we want, but also to help give leaders in the state at all levels, philanthropic, corporate, et cetera, some ideas about how they can take their passion and translate it into something actionable and very specific, tangible ways that Arizona is really moving the ball forward and trying to achieve these goals.
Can you get some examples there as to what was said and what was heard?
Well, one of the great panels was talking about the ASU Starbucks partnership, and it just sort of how do you take public and private and create a partnership that's unique. And the stunning video that was shown in advance was really moving and telling about what that is doing for kids, not only here in Arizona, but other places as well.
And using that as an example, civic engagement, getting young talent ahead, education, community involvement, that particular enterprise seems to touch a lot of bases.
Very much so, and it was so vivid when they discussed it. The representative from Starbucks really gave all of Arizona a tribute for undertaking that venture.
And for some of these leaders now, again, attending the forum, examples of what good comes. I mean, what did they leave hearing?
I think everyone understood that it's a set of goals, but they're not static. They're things that can be used no matter what their walk of life is. So leaders can use it within their own organizations. Candidates for office, just as we were able to display with all of the candidates during the primary, speaking to the issues of the Arizona we want, and that individual citizens can use it in making their judgments about what they do.
As far as significant challenges facing Arizona and what, again, folks at the forum heard, what are some of those challenges? How were they addressed?
Well, we were just talking about one today in your earlier segment about education. Education foundational to civic health, to a growing economy. That's always a challenge. We have issues around water and supply of water and how we're going to deal with that going forward. And we frankly have perception issues in Arizona. So I think one of the most important things that attendees got out of the forum was there are positive things happening in Arizona. And so we can't always focus on the negative. We do have great challenges, but we also have solutions that are popping up all over. And if we all row in the same direction and we coalesce around the things that matter for the long term in our state, then we will be able to make a difference every day in our lives.
You mentioned business community, philanthropic community, nonprofits and such all together with leaders here at this event. Are these challenges, maybe the ones that you just mentioned, other challenges, are they the same for all sectors?
I think each sector has a special role to play, and they will vary by sector. The thing that is so interesting as we watch it unfold is that people do see the connection between what their role is, leaders and decision makers, for example, and citizens working in their own community, to take those goals and make them something that means an important result for everybody that's involved.
It sounds like it was not I want to call it a pep rally, but it was almost quit with the negative, start with the positive, almost let's get together, a little kumbaya thing happening there. Am I getting that right?
The spirit with which people cherished Arizona, talked about who we are, said let's in a sense recapture for the world who we are, and to use the examples that that forum allowed to be displayed, it did have that feeling of a great celebration.
And I think this forum over the years have really followed the path that the Arizona We Want is following, which is to really talk to citizens, identify these goals, focus on the goals, and then understand what's happening in the state and start to bring, that are working toward those goals, start to engage not only leaders, but citizens in moving forward and achieving the things that we want.
How do you do that? How do you engage citizens? How do you engage leaders?
Well, we've been doing that for the last year since we came up with the Arizona We Want 2.0 report. And in leaders, right now we've spent a lot of time talking to candidates for statewide office and saying, these are the things Arizonans say they want. How will you address them? So we start to get them to think about their campaign in terms of their future and what they will do in terms of these issues that are important to Arizonans. And we've seen a lot of organizations and debates using the Arizona We Want goals to structure the conversation, and that's been very positive. For the community, it's about getting out and talking to community, engaging people that normally don't engage, and just asking them what is their passion, and give them some tools to do that.
And Laddie, you've been around for quite a while now. You've seen Arizona grow. You know what Arizona was like in decades past, what we seem to be like now, what you want the future to look like, or what Arizonans want the future to look like. How has that changed?
I think the spirit of adventuresomeness, of entrepreneurship, of loving to be at this place and being here because many people have come here from afar and want to live here, I think that's endured throughout. I think, however, there's been a little hesitation in the last few years where we've been caricatured nationally, where Arizonans are beginning to say, well, wait, we are someone else. We're different than that. I see that now beginning to turn into a very positive direction of people saying, we know who we are, we know what we want to be, but we all have to work together to make it happen.
Did everyone, most folks at the forum, did they agree who we are and who we want to be?
I think so. I mean, I think people are often surprised when they come to something like this and they hear all the great things happening in this state and say, wow, I didn't know that. And part of this, and Laddie talked a little bit at the end of the forum about the makeup of our state. We are essentially 2/3 of our state since the 1900s have come from places other than Arizona. So we have a very small native-born population. So we need people who come to the state to understand what we're about and become part of this team.
But that's an interesting point. And again, Laddie, you've seen people come to the state over the years, and they bring their old home with them, their old ideas with them, and some just don't want to change. Some don't necessarily care about the Arizona future.
And in time they do. That's the important thing. Why do we have less connection with community in the electoral system here? I think largely because we have so many newcomers. But if they can get the spirit and understand how all of this fits together, I think it will deepen those ties in a very significant way.
Is that the kind of thing that you just have to wait it out? The time is just going to have to...
I think we can help it by getting leaders to understand it, and then by working in community after community after community. Darcy and the whole project now is beginning to focus on community involvement and getting individual citizens to recognize that the things they're doing can contribute to the Arizona we want.
And as far as people attending the event, what did you want them to take from the forum?
I wanted them to take that there is a future, there's a common set of goals for Arizona. There are things happening that are helping us reach those goals, and they can engage. There are ways for them to enter into this conversation and make an impact. I think that's very important.
And as far as these, again, if it's kind of a pep rally thing, then you kind of go out into the real world and things kind of filter away. How do you keep things from not filtering away?
Keep them connected. Yeah. We've had people that have been at that event pulling together. We know that the sponsors of the forum, National Bank of Arizona and the Freeport-McMoRan, are reaching out to bring people into it. we want to sound the note that we are all working from, but now we get out to organize them.
Well, it's good to have you both here. Congratulations and good luck on the future of Arizona and with Arizona that we all seem to want. Thank you so much.
Great. You're welcome.
Wednesday on Arizona Horizon, a debate. We will hear from the two candidates vying to represent Arizona's 1st congressional district, a CD1 debate at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
This program is part of American Graduate. Let's make it happen. A public media initiative made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.